Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns, I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell pretty yarns, which you can find at YarnAddict.co.uk. Welcome to another knit and chat video. I had actually planned to film this in another room, but it's really dark and gloomy today, and I thought I was going to be alone now, but I'm not, so I'm going to film this in my office, which makes it a little bit more difficult for you to see what I'm knitting. I might angle the camera a little bit further down. I don't really want you to see all that mess behind me, behind my chair there. Trying to cover up there, or all the mess on the floor down here. Anyway, welcome to another video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think about today's topic. So today I'm going to knit while I chat to you. So I'm knitting this sock. I started, just put on the whole day. I think I probably got about there, and then I knitted the rest while I was on holiday. And now I'm going to carry on and see if I can get a little bit more done. So I've got like a list of kind of knit and chat topics I want to talk about. The idea with this is that I try and show you what I knit while I'm knitting, but I don't know how easily I can do that. Let me just move that out of the way because I've got some yarn there. Let's see if I can angle the camera down a little bit more. Okay, you'll see all my messy stuff down there. I still wanted to be able to see my face. Well, you might not want to see my face. There we go. You can see the top of a pile of shawls there from my last workshop. But the knitting hotel where I was teaching shawl shaping, and all the shawls that I brought, and I brought a lot of shawls. There's a huge pile of them. They're still in the pile on the floor. Anyway, welcome to this video. Today I thought I would chat about mystery knit-alongs, viral designers and designs, and indie dyers. So by viral I mean things that go viral online, things that are very popular, things that everyone's knitting, so patterns everyone's knitting, designers that everyone's talking about, indie yarns, indie dyed yarns that everyone's buying. It is mystery knit-along season at the moment, or MKAL season. So mystery knit-along, or MKAL for short, MKAL, is knit-alongs hosted by designers where you get the pattern a clue at a time. So I've done a few myself. The big one that's happening now, and which made me want to talk about this, is of course Stephen West, Mr. Westnit's mystery knit-along. He does one in October every year. They tend to be quite big shawls. Everyone feels like everyone's knitting them. If you follow knitters on YouTube or Instagram, you've probably seen them. They tend to be big. They tend to have quite interesting techniques and unusual shapes, and they tend to use an awful lot of yarn. The current one, you need 5 skeins of sock yarn or 4-ply yarn. Indie dyers are selling kits for it, and it's quite a big thing. So what do you think about mystery knit-alongs? I've only ever taken part in one, I think. When I was first kind of starting out designing, I took part in a mystery knit-along. It was for a lace pattern, and it had beads in it, and it was actually what taught me to add beads using a crochet hook. And I think I knitted about half of it, and then I got distracted by something else, and I don't think I ever went back and finished it. It was an absolutely stunning lace shawl. I just never got around to finishing it, which is a shame because it was really beautiful, and I have no idea what happened to the half I did in it. But it did teach me how to add beads using a crochet hook, so that was very good. I've hosted a few myself. I wouldn't say they've been as exciting as Stephen West's MKAL, but I enjoyed doing them, and those who took part enjoyed knitting them, but I'm not quite on the same level as Stephen West, I don't think, both in terms of creativity and in terms of popularity. So, do you like mystery knit-alongs? Have you taken part in mystery knit-alongs? Let me know if you have, and if you enjoyed it. There are pros and cons, I think, with mystery knit-alongs. The pros are probably the sense of community, the fact that lots of people are knitting the same design. For example, I think Stephen West has a group on Ravelry where people can chat about it. People are chatting about it on social media. There's loads of people doing YouTube videos about it. So, you know, you get that kind of sense of community. You're knitting something with other people. A lot of us tend to knit on our own, unless you go to like a weekly knitting group. Most of us tend to spend a lot of time knitting on our own. So it can be difficult to kind of get that sense of community unless you use online forums like Ravelry or social media. I'm going to move my marker to where I started now, so we can see how much I can get knitted during this knit and chat. It is fun to knit with other people during a mystery knit along, whether it takes part on a Ravelry group, Facebook group, whatever. It's also can give you a chance to learn some new techniques. So the Stephen West ones especially tend to be quite challenging in terms of techniques, I think. They're probably not for beginner knitters. He does post videos on YouTube showing you, talking about design and showing you some of the techniques, I think, but they tend to be quite innovative designs. Quite often there's a lot of techniques kind of mashed together, so there might be, you know, brioche, cables, lace, slip stitches, all kind of mashed in together, which may or may not be your taste. Some of the, so those are some of the pros. The main pros, I think, with Mr. Knit Along is it might be exciting not to see what you're going to finish with, a sense of community and learning something new and knitting with others, even if it's just online. Some of the cons, I think, main cons are the investment in time and money. Some of them can be quite expensive. It depends on the designer. The Stephen West ones often use 4 or 5 skeins of yarn, which is quite a lot, especially if you buy hand-dyed yarn. I mean, obviously you don't have to do hand-dyed yarn, you can buy cheaper options, but his yarn shop in Amsterdam also sell kits for the Mr. Knit Along, so makes quite a lot of money on that, I would have thought. And I've seen loads of indie dyers selling MCAL kits, and I was quite tempted to get one. I saw one from one indie dyer in the UK, and the colours were, it was like a dark grey and a light grey and a hot pink. And I thought, I love those colours, but I'm not doing the Mr. Knit Along. But I was starting to think, what else could I do with that yarn? So I nearly got it, but I didn't. So I think one of the main cons is, you know, time and effort. Usually there's like a time limit on it. New clues usually released weekly, so there is a pressure to keep up and try and finish the clue before the next clue is released. And if you don't manage to keep up and you get behind, you can very easily start to feel a bit of a sense of failure, although you're not as good as everybody else, or you can't knit as fast as everybody else. Obviously it depends. Some people have a lot of time to knit every day, some people don't. Some people may know the techniques, some people don't. So I think you have to be kind on yourself and not let that time pressure get to you, and just take the time you need. I think that's what Stephen West says in his videos as well. Just take your time. Doesn't matter if you don't finish on time. Sometimes there may be prices if you finish on time, post a photograph, and sometimes not. I'm not sure. So I think for me the main cons are not knowing what I'm going to end up with, or you put in all that time and effort and end up with something you don't like. By the way, I just dropped the stitch. I did unravel a couple of rows. I don't know if you can see that, so I just got to pick that up quickly. The other thing I want to talk about is designs that go viral, very popular designs, very popular designers, indie dyers, yarn companies in general. There are times when it feels like everyone's knitting with certain things or certain patterns, and I think that one of the main problems with that is that, like a few weeks ago, I guess it was end of August or something, Andrea Mowry, who's an American designer, released her sweater design for Rhinebeck. Rhinebeck was a New York, I think it's a New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which was in New York, USA last weekend, I think. Last weekend, for when I'm filming this. This won't be out till the week after, so it might be 2 weeks ago by the time this video is on YouTube. But loads of people were knitting her sweater design that she designed for Rhinebeck. I can't remember what it's called, but I saw lots of people on Instagram knitting it, and then I saw watched a few YouTube videos and loads of Instagram stories and things from Rhinebeck. I'd love to go one day. It looks amazing. And you can just see all these people wearing the same sweater. Loads of different colours. They had a big meetup at Rhinebeck, and I don't know, I'm not sure about walking around the Fibre Festival with loads of people wearing the same sweater as you. I would be looking at other people's sweaters and thinking, oh, that looks better than mine. Oh, I wish I'd done those colours. Or even, oh, she looks better in hers than I do in mine, that kind of thing. So it's easy to compare yourself to other people. And also, it makes it difficult for other designers who want to release a pattern that year or at that time. So if I was due to release a pattern, I don't feel like I've released a new pattern for a while, actually. Can't remember. September was busy. I've got a few patterns coming up. I can't remember when the last pattern I released was. I don't think it's been for a few weeks. But if you're releasing a new pattern at the same time as Andrea Mary released her Rhinebeck sweater, you probably won't get much traction. I think Andrea Mary's patterns are probably any time of year, but especially the Rhinebeck sweater. She seems to be the #1 Rhinebeck sweater designer at the moment. Last year at Yarndale, I think it was last year, I saw, I would say, I don't know, a third of the people there probably. I don't know, maybe not that many, but loads of people were wearing, I think it's called a Love Note or Love Notes sweater. I think it's by Tin Can Knits, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's a really pretty sweater, fairly simple. It has like a lace pattern on the circular yoke. It's knitted in mohair. There seems to be loads of different versions of it. Some with really wide neckline, some with smaller necklines, some long ones, some crop ones, long sleeves, 3/4 length sleeves, short sleeves, loads of options. And there were so many people wearing it last year at Yarndale. I mean, it's great as a designer to see people wearing your stuff at a Fibre Festival. I love it when I've seen people wear my stuff, my designs. I've never had a design that's gone viral quite like that. I would love to, but I haven't. This year at Yarndale, there was loads of granny square cardigans and sweaters. I'm not sure who designed those. I've seen somebody who I've just started following on Instagram who has a pattern for like a granny square cardigan, I think. So it might have been her design. There might be a couple of different designs. I'm not sure. I just saw there was just loads of granny squares everywhere. And they're really pretty and colourful and really lovely, but there was a lot of them. And I'm not sure about just everyone wearing the same thing. The problem with viral designs, viral designers, viral yarns, viral indie dyes, whatever, is that you feel a bit like nobody else gets a look in. Everyone's wearing that. And if you are not knitting it, or it's something that's not suitable for you, or you can't take part because you don't feel you have the skill level, you don't have the money to buy the yarn for this pattern, like the Andrea Mary one, it was a color work design, so you used quite a few different yarns. Some of them were quite expensive, and there might be cheaper alternatives, although one of the yarns she used, I think it's a bit more difficult to find alternatives. And because she's American, the yarns are American, so you could probably find yarns. I've seen people knit them in yarns from this country, but I don't know, it's a bit, you feel a bit like nobody else is getting a look in. So let me know what you think of viral designers. Do you like popular designs? Does seeing loads of people knitting something make you want to knit it? Do you like knitting what everybody else is knitting? Do you like going to a Fibre Festival and wearing what half the people there are wearing? So give you like a sense of community? Do you like popular patterns, or do you prefer to find new patterns and new things that people don't necessarily know about? So let me know what you think about mystery knit-alongs. Do you like the concept of them? Have you taken part in any? Do you like the result? Have you taken part in mystery knit-alongs and not liked the result? Let me know what you think, and also let me know what you think about viral designs, viral designers, super popular patterns, super popular designers. Let me know what you think in the notes, in the comments below. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you being here for my little rant. If you have any topics that you'd like my opinion on, do leave them below and I will answer in a future video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And as I said, leave me a comment. And that's how much I managed to knit during our little chat today. It's not very much really, but a few more rounds added to my very colourful sock. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time.